I know y'all usually come here for the jokes and the hangouts and the underwear videos and to be all like, oh, Cammy's intentionally misunderstanding trending hashtags again. It's fun. We have fun. Today we're talking about death. What's this? A hard right turn into depressing nonsense? Is this surprising to you? You must be new here. Welcome to my home. I had COVID. I was fully vaccinated, wear a mask in public, all the precautions and infection control knowledge, and I still got it. I had a good run, 2.5 years. It was only a matter of time, I guess. For 3 full weeks, I had a very real concern that I would die. That's not hyperbole. It was a very real, tangible concern I might die, or at least end up hospitalized. I have a compromised immune system and a slew of various issues that make me particularly vulnerable to respiratory infections. COVID kills people with my issues. It was a huge relief when I finally tested negative, which is admittedly a dramatic understatement, but that's me, dramatic understatement. I made it out of it without death, though the effects of long COVID are still unknown and kicking my ass, but you probably already noticed I'm not dead. You're very perceptive. I didn't end up intubated in the hospital, which is good, but I did find myself incapacitated in tears, yelling at my legs to just fucking work already because I was so very tired and just wanted to go to bed. I also have a taxi now, so that's fun. Let's change the subject a little. Car crashes. I was driving that car, and I'm sure you can guess why I don't drive it anymore. That was the result of a tiny patch of black ice at just the wrong place on the road. If you don't know what black ice is, you clearly don't live in the Northeast and haven't unexpectedly lost control of your car on a perfectly calm day. The weather here wants to kill you. I mean, Maine summers aren't any better. We do have beautiful countryside, though. Of course, there are moose in the countryside, and moose will absolutely kill you. We also have bears, but black bears are pretty harmless. I think we got off topic. The girl I was dating at the time was an EMT, and she told me she had pulled bodies out of cars that looked better than that. She couldn't even call them people anymore. They were barely recognizable as human. They were just bodies. If we consider reckless behavior and suicide attempts, my life could be organized as a series of traumatic near-death experiences. My thesis here is simple. Live your fucking life. Hike that mountain. Start that YouTube channel. Go on that road trip. Do as your friend Sebastian says and kiss the girl. Sha-la-la-la-la-la, don't be scared. You got the mood prepared. Go on and kiss the girl. Oh, oh. Sha-la-la-la-la-la, don't stop now. Don't try to hide it out. You wanna kiss the girl. Oh, oh. Live your fucking life. Tomorrow isn't a guarantee, and you are not in control of that fact. The essay continues with this tattoo on my arm. You can't see it. There it is. I'm sure you've seen this here, and maybe you thought I was some reformed dude bro who turned in his vape pen for tits, but you would be wrong. It doesn't say love or hope or courage or sunshine or whatever these people put on their bodies. No, this is the Tao because I'm a Taoist. Any philosophy students in the audience are like, yeah, no shit you are. I've seen your videos. Oh, the car crash was like 10 years ago. Don't worry about it. We'll come back around. Kind of like my car did. Anyway, Taoism. If you don't know, you're probably wondering what the hell I'm talking about. Curiosity is good. Taoism is hard to describe specifically. I mean, the first line in the Tao Te Ching is literally, the Tao that can be described is not the eternal Tao. Yes, I like the John MacDonald translation. It has pretty pictures. Now that line sounds obtuse, but it's really not that complicated. Taoism's more a way of thinking about the world and kind of your place in it, and how you live your life and so on. And that's why it's hard to give kind of a definitive answer as to what it is. I'll do my best and then get to what the hell this has to do with me getting COVID and a 10-year-old car accident. Did I just trick you into sitting through a philosophy lesson? Maybe. Some people look at Taoism from a spirituality perspective and such, and that's fine, but it's not really my thing. I'm an atheist. I figure believe what you want to believe and follow the Wheaton rule. Don't be a dick. I approach Taoism the equally valid and just as common interpretation as a philosophy, a way of thinking and looking at the world, and some general advice to make my life less suck and more awesome. I really just went full John Green for a second there. A big part of Taoism is intentionality and being present. Don't be a passive observer in your life. Embrace that main character energy that we all deserve. Big dick energy can come later. Pun intended. To the point of live your fucking life, that's Taoism. We don't live in yesterday. We don't live in tomorrow. The only time we're actually alive is right now. That's not to say don't take steps to make... That's not to say don't take steps to make the you... Oh my god. Why do I write scripts like this? To the point of live your fucking life, that's Taoism. We don't live in yesterday, we don't live in tomorrow. The only time we're actually alive is right now. That's not to say don't take steps to make the you living tomorrow have an easier time of things. Help you of then be in a position for increased awesome. But it's not just be present. It's not just show up to your life and live it. That's only the beginning. Don't just be in the now. Absolutely drown in the now. Shout loud, breathe in, won't you drown in the now. Yes, I referenced a Crystal Method and Modest Yahoo song from 2009. I don't care, it's a fucking banger. Make every day an adventure. And if something doesn't go the way you want, enjoy what life gives you. If you have a half-hour walk home from work and it starts downpour raining, you could either get really mad and let it ruin the rest of your week, or you could go jump in some puddles. Jumping in puddles is awesome. One of the best English language texts on Taoism is this book, The Tao of Pooh by Benjamin Hoff. If you're at all interested, this is the place to start. This is the book that made me realize that I've always been trying to live a Taoist life. I hate saying it like that, a Taoist life. This isn't like fucking raw diet or, I don't know, something else really stupid. Being a Taoist doesn't make me some kind of weirdo. I'm weird for completely different reasons. Live the life that's best for you. Figure out who you are, your strengths and challenges, and live the best version of you. If you're not sure who you are, that's valid. Do your best and figure it out as you go. Make self-discovery an adventure. If you're in a job that isn't good for you, and you will know if you are, get a new one. Or take classes to get skills that you dig so you can get the job you want. If you're in jeans that don't fit your actual body, then throw them away and get yourself some #new jeans. Snuck in another one. If your relationship is unfulfilling, then come on, Jessica, he's never going to respect you. Dump his ass and get you a lesbian. There's a lot of nuance and minutia to Taoism if you give a shit. I'm not going to get into it because this is just a 10-minute YouTube video and not a doctoral dissertation, and it doesn't really matter anyway. Not for what we're talking about, and if I'm honest, not that important generally speaking. It really is just live your best life and plan for tomorrow to be even better, and if she's game, then for the love of fuck, kiss the girl. You gotta kiss the girl. And if it doesn't go any further, that's fine. You still got to smooch a cute girl, and smooching cute girls is awesome. Honestly, one of my favorite hobbies. I smooch my girlfriend every single chance I get because I love it and her, and I might not get to tomorrow. Oh, she brings it back around for the next part of the essay. It's almost like I've been formally trained in essay writing. Thank you, Karen and Michelle. Michelle supports me on Patreon, and so does this other person who may or may not be my aforementioned cute girlfriend. You can join them and support me for $2, $5, or $10 a month. Get early access to videos and other stuff. Patreon.com/CarmillaTLV. Link in the description. Part 4. This is the part where I restate the thesis. Live your fucking life. You're smart, so you probably know how I'm gonna kind of bring this all together, but let's go on the journey anyway. That car accident I mentioned up top, yeah, that one, that changed me. It was about 5 seconds in all, but then a lot of reflection and pain, just so much pain. It made me a pretty different person. I mean, before I was still adventurous and tried to live my best life and all that, but I was just really bad at it. I mean, I'm still pretty bad at it, but messy bitch is part of my DNA. Work life, love life, school life, life, all of it was kind of this cloudy mess of indecision, lack of direction, and if I'm being honest with myself, failure. Buying that telephone pole put everything into clarity. It kicked me out of one of the longest and most severe mental health crises of my life. If I was going to have the life I wanted, I needed to cowboy up and fucking live it. You know what I got a couple of months after that happened? The love of my life, because I had the courage to kiss the girl. You wanna kiss the girl. I don't know if she would have fallen in love with the person that I was before that accident. I mean, probably. I'm not that different. Mostly I was just a little sadder, less direct, and had a lot of indecision. Indecision pretty much doesn't exist anymore, which is nice. This was the same person who adamantly refused to admit that she was trans for literal decades, even though it was very obvious. Life is an exciting journey. Don't sleep through it and be sad because things aren't exactly perfect. Live the adventure before you. Go jump in puddles. To quote the doctor, there's no point in being grown up if you can't be childish sometimes.
Doctor, you're being childish.
Well, of course I am. There's no point in being grown up if you can't be childish sometimes.
But I hear you asking, what does this have to do with COVID? Well, COVID could have killed me, and there's absolutely nothing I could have done about it. Thankfully, all I lost to it was November, and not every November forever. This has been a really hard year for me, which is probably pretty obvious if you consider the number of videos I've made this year. Across both channels, I've made 7 videos, as opposed to the year before where I made 14. I've slipped so far down into my depression and disability that I haven't been showing up to my own life. And the whole reason I started this channel is to celebrate the journey, so of course I've been having a hard time getting things made if I'm not enjoying the journey anymore. It's not like I'm just not showing up, it's that I have no idea how to show up anymore or where to even start. But I know I need to figure it out because I might not be so lucky the next time COVID comes around. But I'm here today, right now. In every stage of this video, I'm here right now. Writing, filming, editing, posting, responding to comments. Each is a now where I show up. And I'll show up tomorrow too and plan an adventure or a nice night with my girlfriend so I can have something fun to do when I show up later on. It's all I can do. Show up, make each day the best adventure I can manage, and figure it out along the way. Like the old Taoist saying, journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Live your fucking life. And wear a fucking mask. Stop being selfish. COVID is still killing people.